Alright, quick video here on the 2005 to 2007 Ford F-350 6-liter diesel. If you have troubles getting out this back turbo bolt, which usually I don't, they're sometimes a little tougher and mashed up on the 03s, where instead of bolting it through the back side, the one that comes down, it actually comes in through the side on the 2003s. And I know some guys have troubles getting that one off, but on this one, it was, I couldn't get it out. I can normally get a torch in, I just use just a regular, yellow MAP gas, and I'm actually able to, when the engine's assembled, get this back there and get some heat on that bolt. And I got it nice and hot, and it wouldn't go. Usually just a 6-inch extension with 10 mil, and you can almost get a snipe in there, and you can usually pop that one off no problem. But this one, it just wouldn't go, and tried multiple things. It's so tight in there with the cab on to cut that bolt off, and it just wasn't working. In the end, I discovered it's full of red Loctite, which you should never use. If it's a part you ever want to take off again, that's more of a permanent thing. But what I figured was, well, don't really see any reason why that intake can't come off with the turbo still on. So after removing the fan shroud and fan and everything like that off of the front here, which normally doesn't have to come off for an EGR delete, that's what this one's here for, which should be a quick job, but in this case it definitely wasn't. What I was able to do was get that apart and loosen up that intake manifold, get the fuel tower, oil tower off, and I got a Sawzall in with a metal blade and just nicked off this tab that holds the back of the EGR cooler in, and was able to slice that off, pop the intake up, and then slide it back, and yeah, just removed the intake, and that gave me some room to get at the turbo pedestal bolts. On this side and the other side, they're next to impossible to get at with the intake in. So once that was done, I got the turbo free, and it still didn't really want to come out, so I removed just this one coolant passage here, right? Just took off those two T30s. I always cut these. I can't figure out how to get these things off. I don't know why. Of all the ones I've done, I've just given up, right? Cut it and used the supplied one in the delete kit. But yeah, then after that, I was able to roll it out relatively easily. I'd probably recommend you take this this tube off here. It's just a couple of T27s, and you really only need to remove the one of them. Then it just kind of twists and comes off. Then you put your bolt back so you don't lose them, and yeah, then you're able to do that. And I'd recommend too, this one had a little bit of a leak, and I was wondering where that leak was coming from, and so I always like to check, make sure it has that updated SCT fitting here. I had pretty good luck reusing that gasket, but in this case they like really over siliconed it. You can see where the split in the block is there, and you really got to just get like a dime size little spot right there where it joins, and this one was just really overly done and seemed to have been leaking out of there, and everything was way over torqued, so you can see how that all that, you don't need to put that much silicone on. You can see the gasket just, it's not going to perform properly, and it's leaking past there. And even on the other side here, you can see even where the split in the block was, and all the silicones on the other side. So you don't want to put it on the corner. I try to get it right on the block, right in the center, right? And like I said, just a little dime size of that. Use that Ford 7.3 silicone, seems to be the best. I'll even when I'm rebuilding these motors, and I'll put like pull this captive, its gasket out, and just put a fine little smear of that silicone in, and then it just kind of pushes that seal up so there's a little bit of protrusion there, and you start kind of getting the feel of it, and then I don't seem to have any leaks on the rocker boxes or oil pan or anything like that. And yeah, so yeah, if you ever have problems getting that stupid bolt out, right, or you strip it or whatever it is, that seemed to work out pretty good for me, just yoinking that off. And it's probably faster if you have the capabilities just to pop off the cab. I'm pretty sure I spent more than an hour or two. I probably spent 3 hours dinking around trying to figure out how to get this turbo off with that bolt mashed. If you guys have any better ideas, I'd like to hear them. But yeah, those are my recommendations for that anyhow. So yeah, if you want to leave a comment, give me a better idea on what I can do to fix that better next time, I'd like to hear it.